We are live. We are live. Welcome to college football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel, ring the notification bell, smash the like button, share the video if you want to support this national independent college football YouTube channel with a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Just hit that $ where you make your comment, and I will get you a super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio. We are still in the old studio. Welcome in everybody. The studio, the old one, that is going to get broken down sometime this weekend, I believe. Welcome to the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. And I've already screwed up. Hold on, everybody. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Here we go. Here we go. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. The Mississippi State Supreme Court has denied the NCAA's appeal against Trinidad Chambliss preliminary injunction. Chambliss remains eligible for the 2026 season. So, I gotta, look, we're giving Ole Miss respect here at Peek Around the Corner. A lot of outlets, a lot of publications, they're not giving Ole Miss that much respect. But we are. Chambliss is coming back. Lacey is coming back. Pete Golding, we'll see what he's got as a head coach to begin the season. But Ole Miss, their great quarterback, it looks like, without a shadow of a doubt, he is coming back to lead the Ole Miss Rebels. Bill Connelly's SP Plus power rankings have been released. And we knew they were going to be released real soon because that's what he does. He puts out the returning production, the percentages, offense, defense, special teams. We talked about it. We went through the list. And we knew any day now Bill Connelly's ESPN SP Plus power rankings were going to come out. And they did today. And just like every other year, we go through them, we analyze them, we break them down, we take them way too seriously here at Peek Around the Corner. We start throwing elbows, we start yelling conspiracy. Again, Bill Connelly will calmly explain to everybody who attacks him on X that this is not a prediction. This is not a prediction of the final rankings at the end of the season. This happens to be by metrics, algorithms that he's always adjusting. This happens to be the power rankings as we stand today, March 27th. That could change. It will change. But for right now, today, this is the power rankings. And the top three followed closely by the Georgia Bulldogs. At number 4, number 1, Buckeyes. Number 2, Oregon. Number 3, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And we're going to get through all that and a whole lot more on our live program today. Welcome on in, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in. Rich Austin is in the house. Matthew Carlson is here. Go Blue. Stephen McNeely, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. College ball with beans. Hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns. Another burnt orange is in the PATC family. Matthew Carlson. One up. 1-0 hockey. Caleb Ramirez. Mr. Buckeye, Bob Swanger. We are Penn State, Gold Nose, Florida man. Jan Uzi, Yankee baseball is back. Karan Shakar. Thanks for coming on in. Rodney Richboard, go Tigers. Now, where is LSU in the SP Plus power rankings? They're pretty high. They're pretty high. They're pretty high. Mick Stevens, Go Frogs women's basketball. Go Minnesota Gophers women's basketball as they play the mighty UCLA Bruins tonight. Going to be a tough one for my Gophers. But give them hell. Give the Bruins hell. Big Gun Shop is here. Morris Simmons is here. Chef Mall. Bimba 7579. The other Gygax. Daniel Gygax, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. AFKA is here. BYU football is in the house. Sacramento State is not at the bottom. The Hornets are not at the bottom. Marcus Williams, thanks for coming on in. I very much appreciate it. Okay, just let me check one more item here. And then we'll get with it. Again, Trinidad Chambliss. Trinidad Chambliss remains eligible to be the starting quarterback for the Ole Miss Rebels to begin the 2026 season. Big breaking news right before we came on live. Before we talk about the SP Plus power rankings for Bill Connelly and ESPN, had a discussion today with somebody chatted behind the curtain, so to speak. And talking about one of these things. Now we know, okay, so again, is the SCORE Act going to pass or not? It definitely is not the chalk to pass. A whole lot of people are working on it. You've got 5 or 6 or 7 presidential committees. You've got Cantwell and Ted Cruz working on a possible bipartisanship in the Senate. You've got Bill Cassidy coming out with some letter that he wrote, and I'm not going to go through that. Senator from Louisiana. If the SCORE Act doesn't pass, the chances of silos being created will go up dramatically. And of course, we're going to speculate on what those silos would look like. We're going to try to gather information if this happens, if the SCORE Act doesn't pass. Is it going to be a silo? Is it going to be a breakaway in phases? We believe that will be the case. And what will be the end result? How would it look like at the end of the day, everybody going in their own silos? We'll talk about all of that if this starts to happen. If the SEC, who are about 1/3 the way up on their silo mountain as they climb it, what happens if they climb all the way to the top? What if they reach the peak of Silo Mountain? If they reach the peak of Silo Mountain, a very interesting conversation I had earlier today with the chatter behind the curtain. And this person said that if that would happen, the Southeastern Conference would go into overdrive in having discussions with Disney in trying to figure out how to best protect themselves for antitrust violations. And of course, my question is, what would Disney, how could Disney help? And the answer was, if all this would happen, and you want to protect antitrust exempt, you want to protect yourself against as many lawsuits as you possibly can. If you want to look more favorably on the courts, you're going to want to make sure that you have a certain number of your content be available over the airways. That not like have a little bit more if the SEC goes in their silo and let's say they expand. Let's say they go from 16 to 20 schools. Now we're just talking here. We're not reporting this, we're just talking. to create more content. If they're going to go into their bigger own universe and they make a bigger universe, and they're going to go from 16 to 20 schools to create more live sport content, you're not going to be able just to attach Netflix to the deal. According to this chatter behind the curtain, person in the media industry, they don't believe that the SEC would, maybe they wouldn't, maybe they would attach a Netflix. But if they did that, and they probably would do that, they're going to have to diversify in how people are able to get SEC live content. So they make a long conversation short. It might get CBS, Paramount Plus back at the SEC table. Believe it or not. Again, there's about 20 steps that would have to happen before this would actually happen. But it is it's interesting to talk about. Because if you're going to throw all of your extra live content behind another streaming platform, you're probably going to get threatened. There are reports out there that the NFL is being possibly threatened a little bit by congressional people. Look, you can't keep throwing more and more all of your content into this. You cannot take the consumer for a ride like you're doing and expect to have all these antitrust exemptions. So the chatter behind the curtain was explaining to me the main reason why the SEC would go to their silo, and the more extreme that silo becomes, the more important it is for the SEC that they consider internally protection of these antitrust violations. And to do that, you're probably going to want to find another partner for OTA to put live content out there that somebody doesn't have to buy a streaming package to watch it. In theory. And of course, I'm like, well, what are the options? And we went through the options, and Fox is not really considered an option, and NBC is not really considered an option at this point. So it'd go back to CBS, and you're seeing what all CBS is doing. Paramount Plus, all the things that they're growing and growing and growing, and maybe, just maybe, they can get a few live content of SEC. Now again, this is like a whole bunch of things would have to happen before you saw SEC football back on CBS. SEC is going to stay with Disney. They're going to ABC, of course, ESPN, ABC, the Family Network, SEC Network. But they might get to the point where SEC is going to have to put a little bit more of their content somewhere else, just to make sure, just to protect themselves. All right, I wanted to start off the program by giving you a little bit of information that I have learned earlier today per people behind the curtain in media, college football. Again, if this would ever happen, it ain't happening anytime soon. It's not happening anytime soon. I just want to put that out there. So if the time comes, a year from now, SEC breaking away, expanding, going to need more media partners. CBS might be in play. All right. Gary Danielson's going to unretire. All right. Let's get to it. Bill Connelly. We've got the Eva Badger member for 27 months. Early peak, cloak and dagger. Holy smokes. My goodness. Greg, do you think there should be an age limit in college football? I don't believe someone should play college football forever. Eva Badger, you are hereby officially knighted, cloak and dagger once again. Thank you for becoming a member for 27 months, Ryan Willie. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your phone calls. Very much appreciated. I'm a little nervous myself about putting an age limit on it. I think you can have so many years to fulfill so many years of eligibility. 5 years to play up to 5 years, I'm good with that. 5 years to play 5 years. 5 years and you play 4 years, you're still done. And what I would do is, just like they have it now, the clock starts after your high school graduation. That is when your 5 years begin, or the following year, however they do it. Now, some people graduate at 17 years. Some people graduate at 19 years. So I don't want to put an age limit on it. I would just say 5 years, beginning the next year after your high school graduation, your eligibility clock begins. So that's how I would do it. I think that's enough. These guys that are playing 6-7 years, look, legally they can do it right now, okay? You had the COVID year, they made exceptions and all that. But there's a lot of people, high school players, who want the opportunity to get that scholarship to play, to be on a team. 98% of the college football players are not going to go pro at any level. What I'm talking about pro is after college football. You should not be playing college football forever. That's not what this is about. It's about education. Hopefully for many, it's about graduating. Hopefully for many, it's about growing. And hopefully for many, it's about playing the game they love. And making some money, as they should. So, I would not put an age limit on it. I would simply say 5 years of eligibility and the clock starts the year after. Now, look, I would make exceptions to that. Military service. Greg, what about guys that went into military service right after high school? I'd make exceptions on that. I would also be open to making exceptions on religious liberties. If you serve your religion for a couple of years, whatever, you come back. I would also make an exception on very limited, narrow exception on a person being a victim of something outside of the risk involved in playing the sport. If somebody is a victim of a horrific violent crime, something to that effect, outside of the normal, the risk and the benefits of playing football, basketball, fencing, swimming, diving, if something should happen to somebody and they're able to come back, I think there should be a narrow exception on that. But other than that, 5 years. 5 years. Religious exemption. Yeah. Religious liberty. Yes. All right. So Bill Connelly. Thank you starting us off. Ryan, Willie, I very much appreciate it. Thank you for starting us off. Appreciate it. 27 months. 27 months the Evil Badger has been a member of our program, and a great one he is, of course. I love Bill Connelly. I love the power rankings. I know a lot of you get all twisted up in a bind. A lot of you start to shake with anger when you read Bill Connelly's SP Plus rankings. Not I. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. More data, more information. Breaking it all down here at PATC. Now he's made adjustments in his metrics on this. The recruiting rankings, the high school recruiting rankings, they're not as impactful as they used to be. Karan Shakar, Greg doesn't like charts, but he likes tables, baby. He loves tables. Absolutely correct. The high school recruiting rankings are not as impactful as they used to be. So he's dialed down in his algorithm, he's dialed it down. Below are the season's initial SP Plus projections. The rankings of every FBS team. Overall, offense, defense, special teams. Now, we're not going to go through the special teams. I don't even think I have them listed. Overall, offense and defense. We're going to look at the conference breakdowns. So, a lot there. A lot here in the power rankings. And what determines the SP Plus, returning production. And again, Bill Connelly has released those numbers already, and we went through them here at PATC. The returning production on offense, the returning production on defense, the returning production on special teams. Recent history. What has happened from the previous seasons that gives a good measure of the overall program health? Recent recruiting. We just talked about this. Past few years recruiting rankings and quality of incoming transfers. And number 4, coaching change effects. Oklahoma State getting Eric Morris. North Texas losing Eric Morris. All that is in combined and mixed up to get this SP Plus power rankings. With transfers increasing so dramatically each season, figuring out the right mix of the above factors is a bit of a moving target. All right, but I'm loving every moment of it. I love this stuff. Initial 2026 SP Plus rankings. It's not 136 teams. It's 138 teams. It's 138. North Dakota State, Sacramento State. Let's go. Charlotte at the bottom. UMass 137. Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee State, Ball State, still at the bottom of the MAC. They've been at the bottom of the MAC lately. Southern Mississippi 131. Sacramento State 130. First year in the FBS, playing in the MAC, they're 130 out of 138 schools. They're above Ball State in the MAC. Northern Illinois, been taking a big hit in the MAC, 125. Akron in the MAC. Kent State in the MAC. San Jose State has taken a big hit on offense. The first numbers is the overall. The next number is offense. The next number is defense. The national rankings. So if you look at the Ohio Bobcats at 117, they're 134th ranked out of 138 on offense. 72 on defense. But 134 on offense makes the Ohio Bobcats 117 overall. Bowling Green 115. Delaware 114. Central Michigan, Buffalo, more MAC schools. North Texas, the big drop of North Texas. And you're going to see that later in the article. Oklahoma State Cowboys gain was North Texas loss. Toledo, UConn went down. '99, Colorado State, Jim Mora, first year head coach at Fort Collins. Jim Mora has his work cut out for him. Liberty, not so much the dominating force anymore. They're still going to be up there in the Sun Belt, but they're not quite the dominating force. Marshall, Oregon State 91. Texas State, first year going in the new Pac-12 conference, 89. Tulane 87. Tulane 87. Washington State 85. Hawaii, a lot of people like Hawaii's offense this year. That quarterback they've got, number 69, nationally ranked out of 138 schools. That's right on average, right in the middle, Hawaii's offense. Purdue is 82. The Boilermakers at the bottom of the Big Ten. Miami of Ohio is above Purdue. South Florida, 80. Mountain West School, Air Force, 79. New Pac-12 School, Fresno State, 78. North Dakota State, 72. 72, North Dakota State. They're just below San Diego State for the Mountain West. They're just below New Mexico. Stanford and Boston College are below North Dakota State. Boston College and Stanford, two ACC schools, below North Dakota State. ECU, the American, at 76. James Madison, who went to the playoffs, 77. Michigan State, 67. The Mountaineers, 66. Colorado, 65. Iowa State, 64. Navy and Rutgers in Wisconsin. A run of Big Ten schools. A run of Big 12 schools from 67 to 61. UCF, Big 12. UNLV, 59. 33 in offense in the nation. Dan Mullen has the UNL Rebels 33 ranked power rankings in the nation. Wake Forest 58, Kansas 57, Cali 56, Maryland 55, North Carolina Bill Belichick 64, Kenny Minchie and the Kentucky Wildcats 63, Mississippi State 52, Daniel Gygax 66, I demand a recount. Whoops, I got this all screwed up. Okay, 52. There it is. Baylor, 51. Cincinnati, 50. Northwestern, 49. North Carolina State, 48. Arkansas, 47. The Bruins in Minnesota, Big Ten, 46-45. They got my beloved Golden Gophers defense at 24. They're not believing. Bill Connelly's SP Plus is not believing in the offense at 71. Duke, the ACC defending champion, 19 on offense, 81 on defense. Georgia Tech, 43. Arizona State, 42. Pittsburgh, 41. Virginia, they went to the ACC championship game against Duke last year. They sit at 40. Boise State, the Pac-12, chalk as of right now at number 39. Look at the Oklahoma State Cowboy. 38. Nebraska, 37. I don't know about Houston, 36. Big 12, Houston Cougars. Number 30 on offense, number 45 on defense. Florida State's 35. Florida State is 35. Are they coming back? The TCU Horned Frogs, they lose Josh Hoover. Number 34. The Fighting Illini, 33. Virginia Tech, 32. Coach Franklin. Vanderbilt, they take a little bit of a slide, but 31. Arizona, 30. Kansas State, 29. 17th ranked on offense. SMU, 28. Louisville, 27. The Auburn Tigers, 26. Whoa. Defense, they're rated 18th in the nation in the power rankings. Utah, 25. South Carolina Gamecocks, 24, ranked 21 on defense. Clemson, 23. The Hawkeyes, 22. The Huskies, 21. Missouri, 20. The Florida Gators, 19. Wow. The Gators, John Sumrall, 12th in the nation in defense. 12th in the power rankings on defense, the Florida Gators. Number 18, the BYU Cougars. 16-20. They got everything covered. The BYU Cougars got everything covered. Penn State, 17. Wow. Are we sure about that? Penn State 17. Well, you know what? I did have Penn State number 6. I keep moving them up. I keep moving them up. And this makes sense. They're right behind Michigan, who I've got 5. I've got USC 4, so this is going right with my rankings. Penn State 17, Ole Miss 16. Breaking news. Trinidad Chambliss is still deemed eligible to play. So very good news for the Rebels. I do not understand the Volunteers at number 15, number 4 overall on offense. Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. Somebody's going to have to sit me down and explain to me why the Volunteers can be number 4 in the nation on offense in the power rankings when we don't even know who the quarterback is, when the quarterback hasn't played a lick. George McIntyre. That is the one that sticks out the most to me by far. By far. Number 14, Michigan. Need to prove it a little bit more on offense. 20 in offense, 13 on defense. The USC Trojans, I agree with this. I think they're right there on the edge of being a playoff team. Well, I have guaranteed. I have given you my Greg the Gold guaranteed that the USC Trojans are going to be a playoff team in 2026. And you can see that. 6 on offense, 29 on defense. Oklahoma Sooners offense, probably, in my opinion, getting a little bit too much respect on this power rankings. But they show up at 27 offensively, 10 defensively. The Sooners overall are number 12. Now, Oklahoma finished the season last year number 8, Alabama number 9 in the playoff rankings, and they played each other. And Alabama defeated Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. SP Plus Power Rankings have Alabama and Oklahoma again right next to each other. Alabama at number 11. 4th in the nation in defense. 4th. Top 10. LSU Tigers. The LSU Tigers are number 2 in defense. 21 on offense. Texas A&M at number 9. Number 8, the Miami Hurricanes. 12th on offense, 7 on defense. The Texas Tech Red Raiders. 8 on offense, 11 on defense. The Texas Longhorns. 7 on offense, 8 on defense. The Indiana Hoosiers come in at number 5. The reigning, defending, undisputed Big Ten and national champions. The Hoosiers come in at number 9 on offense, 6 on defense. Number 4, Georgia. 5-5. Top 5 in both offense and defense. Number 4, Georgia Bulldogs. Number 3, Notre Dame. This surprises me. This also comes out at me. Not that Notre Dame is number 3. That does not surprise me. What surprises me is Notre Dame's offense is number 3 in the nation, and their defense, according to the metrics provided in the SPS Plus Power Rankings, the Irish defense is number 9. The offense is 3. I would have thought Notre Dame's defense would be number 3, and the offense would be something like 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 2, Oregon Ducks. Number 1 on offense. Number 3 on defense. And number 1, the Buckeyes. Number 2 on offense. Number 1 on defense. So there it is. Bill Connelly's power rankings. Power rankings determined by metrics that he put in the old computer. Now, there's more information on this I want to get to real quick. Real interesting stuff here. Hold on. Talking football, college football. Let me show you guys some more interesting information that came out of this. Bill Connelly's article. Go check it out on ESPN. The largest projected improvement. Oklahoma State plus 21.7 adjusted points per game. The Cowboys fielded their worst team in more than 60 years last fall. But they brought in Eric Morris, who basically migrated last season's top-ranked offense into Stillwater. Now, according to Bill Connelly, that does not make them the Big 12 favorites or anything, but it could very well make them a top 40 team. And, of course, I got them ranked. Where do I have them ranked? Number 22, number 23. In my way too early rankings. Virginia Tech is another big mover. Plus 19.2. Plus 19.2 points adjusted ratings for Virginia Tech from this year to last year. James Franklin comes to Blacksburg. Quite a few former Nittany Lions come in to Blacksburg with them. Maybe not an ACC contender yet. Maybe they are. UCLA plus 13.6. Rinse, repeat. Bob Chesney moved from James Madison to the West Coast and brought a whole lot of Dukies with him to spruce up a dramatically underachieving Bruins squad. Syracuse. They did not change head coaches, but they're plus 12.1. Florida, plus 11.2 points adjustment. Another coaching change. Brought in John Summerall. According to SP Plus rankings, the Gators are in line for an improvement over last year. North Carolina, Bill Belichick. Bobby Petrino for offense. Stanford, plus 9.8. Again, not expected to be very good, but it's some improvement. LSU, plus 9.7. Now, Bill Connelly makes it clear that the LSU Tigers hasn't underachieved to the degree that the others on this list have, but the change to Lane Kiffin, combined with a massively productive transfer class, should provide a boost. Oregon State, plus 9.5. The Beavers were the most unlucky team in college football last year, and they were also quite terrible. Colorado, all right, a little positivity, plus 9.1. Deion Sanders made a pair of coordinator changes and brought in an underrated, productive transfer class that could prove to be a solid combination. The largest projected regression, going backwards. Well, it's obvious that North Texas is one of them. If Oklahoma State is the highest riser, North Texas is the one that is going to regress the most. Toledo, they lost Jason Candle to UConn. UConn, a lot of changes at UConn. Jim Mora went to Colorado State. Southern Miss doesn't look good. South Florida, James Madison, Tulane. All three of these American schools, well, not all three American, two of the American and James Madison, all three lost their head coaches to SEC or Big Ten. So, again, with SP Plus rankings, they're expected to take somewhat of a dip. Old Dominion, Vanderbilt, the first power conference team on the list. Vandy ranks last in SEC returning production. In Utah, even though they're projected still a top 25 team, SP Plus loved them last season. They were 8th overall. And they also take a hit by losing Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. So Utah takes a hit. But again, they're still well liked by SP Plus rankings. It's just that they were extremely loved last year. Now look at this. Conference by conference breakdowns using ESPN SP Plus. Here we go. The SEC is far and away the highest ranked conference in the land. Number 1 on offense, number 1 on defense. The Big Ten is number 2. The Big 12 is number 3. The ACC is number 4. According to the SP Plus rankings, there is much that divides the SEC and the Big Ten as there is that divides the Big Ten and the Big 12. 3.5 rating difference here between the SEC and the Big Ten. 3.6 rating difference between the Big Ten and the Big 12. SP Plus loves the SEC. They love the depth of the SEC. As we'll get to it in a moment. Now, they do have, in the Power 4, they do have the Big 12 defense at 4 and the ACC's offense at 4. So they do a little bit of do-si-do with the Big 12 and the ACC. The new Pac-12 is number 5. Well ahead of the American. Now that is very interesting. The American lost a bunch of guys. They lost a bunch of head coaches. The Pac-12 is well ahead of the American. The American and the Mountain West are basically tied. Mountain West comes in at 6. The American 7. Sun Belt 8. Conference USA 9. And the MAC at 10. And you saw all those MAC schools at near the bottom. And if you look at these numbers, by far the worst numbers is the MAC conference for offense. I mean, look at the disparity, the difference between the MAC and Conference USA on offense. Holy smokes. So there it is. The SEC number 1, Big 10 number 2, Big 12 3, ACC 4, Pac-12 5, Mountain West 6, the American 7, the Sun Belt 8, Conference USA 9, the MAC 10. The SEC remains the top of the list, just as they did in 25, because of pure depth. Pure depth. And then he talks about the favorites in each conference. The ACC, Miami, Clemson, Louisville. In the American, Navy, Memphis, UTSA. Look at Navy. Number 63. That's the highest rated power ranked team in SP Plus. Is Navy at 63? A lot of people in the American are gonna say, look, of course they're gonna feel absolutely disrespected by this power ranking. Absolutely. The Big 12, Texas Tech, BYU, Utah, not a surprise. Big 10, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, not a surprise. Liberty is not even the favorite in their conference. It's Western Kentucky. In the MAC, Miami of Ohio, 82. Western Michigan, 94. Toledo, 108. UNLV comes in at 59 for the Mountain West. New Mexico, 68. And look at North Dakota State at 72. North Dakota State, according to the SP Plus Power Rankings, is in the mix. The Pac-12, number 39, Boise State. Number 71, San Diego State. 78, Fresno State. I'm gonna circle back to that in a moment. The SEC, number 4, Georgia. Number 6, Texas. Number 9, Texas A&M. And then the Sun Belt is number 75, James Madison, 89, Old Dominion, 90, Troy. Take a look at the Pac-12. 39, Boise State. 71, San Diego State. That is a monster of a gap. If you look at the other gap from the favorite to the second favorite in all the other conferences, it's not even close. So according to, I just want to point this out, according to the SP Plus rankings, power rankings, Boise State is the chalk to be the team that represents the G6 into the college football playoffs. According to the SP Plus power rankings in March, take it whatever that means to you. Not only is Boise State the chalk, the lowest, the highest rated by far, UNLV is next. It is the biggest gap between Boise State and the next team in their conference, which is San Diego State, number 71 or whatever. So if you go through this, if you go through and we're going to see, and you're going to see other tables that show what is your record going to be at the end of the season if you just go by the SP Plus rankings. Boise State is a heavy chalk, about as heavy as you possibly can get in a power ranking in the month of March. And I think we're going to start seeing that in FanDuel and DraftKings and everywhere else. Boise State, Boise State, Boise State. The second one is going to be UNLV. And then there's going to be talk about somebody in the American is going to pop up. Somebody in the American is going to pop up. And then North Dakota State. Boise State, UNLV, and North Dakota State battling in the Mountain West Conference, and somebody in the American should pop up. Kenneth Maynor, Super Chat, thank you so very much. Kenneth Maynor, ECU Pirate. Word is that West Florida Argonauts are moving up to FCS this year. I saw an article that came out. People were talking about it a couple of months ago. There was other reports. Great program in D2, building a new stadium and loads of potential in recruiting hotbed. Announced next week, a space grant school. Thank you, Kenneth Maynor. Thank you for bringing that up. Maybe I'll bring that up tomorrow. There's reports coming out. There was a big article came out today on that. West Florida Argonauts now. We shall see. Now, again, the FCS powerhouses usually don't come from down south, but we'll see what happens here. The FCS is going to change. We've seen some pretty, well, the biggest program, North Dakota State, just left. We might be seeing other ones follow North Dakota State in the coming years. We saw Missouri State. We saw Sam Houston. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jacksonville State. They all moved up to FBS. And now you're seeing some other programs below FCS move up to FCS. So who can compete for the FCS championship 5 years from now might look completely different than what it looked like here in the last 25 years. So congratulations to West Florida. Thank you, Kenneth Maynor, for bringing that up. Very much appreciated, sir. Thank you so very much. We've got another super chat, the Evil Badger. The Evil Badger, Ryan Willa. Wisconsin, thank you for the $10 holla, Evil Badger. Wisconsin extended the deadline for season ticket renewals. They sent an email begging season ticket holders to renew for the season. I couldn't renew because I'm not sure where I'm going to be. I don't think that's just happening in Wisconsin. I think this is a very tough spring and summer. You know, the question of affordability that has been going on for the last 5-6 years, inflation, and then you have the competition of these beautiful TV sets that we have and the comfort of our own, wherever we're living. And there's a lot of competition for that entertainment dollar. And college football is just one of the people that are trying to get, your attention. So Wisconsin's not the only one. Can tell you that right now. Thank you for the $10 holla, Evil Badger. Very much appreciate it. Thank you very kindly, sir. Appreciate it. Kenneth Maynor, super chat. Kenneth Maynor. The Pirate is rising up. No respect for an ECU team that won 9 games last year, retains their coach, who's 14-5, and brings in North Texas offensive coordinator, one of the favorites in the American, underrated. Go Pirates. Go Pirates. What was ECU ranked? I forgot where they were ranked. Somewhere in the 60s? I don't remember. '76. 84 on offense, 71 on defense. The Pirates. And then if you look at the American overall, I mean, look at that. They're not even number 2. They're probably just a touch behind the Mountain West. Basically the same score, 8.2. But if you would have asked before before the table came out, I think we all would have said the American would be number 2. Clearly number 2. Now again, this is just a power ranking. And in this power ranking, there were teams last year that were supposed to be great, and they fell flat. Penn State and Clemson are the top 2. All right? Clemson and Penn State had all that returning productivity coming back, high rankings, and they both fell. So you never know. You never know. Other Gygax, the Pirates, saying to Kenneth Maynard, the Pirates are the Rodney Dangerfield of college football. No respect. No respect. It's hard being a Pirate, always grinding. Always grinding. Fugazi, the SP Plus Power Rankings is Fugazi according to Chris Brown. They prop up the SEC teams. 8 teams ranked, so that's how they get 5 teams in the playoffs. It already starts, doesn't it? It already starts. The SP Plus rankings were part of Greg Sankey's portfolio that he gave out to the media members showing how great the SEC is. Bill G, the incredible edible Bill G. I think Eric Morris will call the plays at Oklahoma State. Who does Oklahoma State start off with this year? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what the Oklahoma State I love this comment. BYU football. The power rankings don't matter. What's the viewership? That's all that matters. Stephen Vitt, preseason power rankings are just making blind guesses. I expect SP Plus to get some of these choices way wrong. Yeah, Tiger Woods. Hopefully Tiger Woods gets some help. Get some help, or at least don't go behind the driver's seat. Don't be driving, because you're endangering other people. Hopefully Tiger Woods gets some help. Rollover accident today. Refused to take a breathalyzer. It doesn't look like alcohol is the issue. It's going to be something else. Rolled his vehicle over. He was arrested. So hopefully he's, Somebody needs to take the keys away from him. Absolutely. Don't want him getting hurt again. Last time he damaged a leg. Don't want him hurting or killing anybody else. All right, so let's go and open up the phone lines. Open up the phone lines. You know how this works. If you call in, the floor is yours. The floor, you can talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. Just like Super Chats. Super Chat, we talk about what you talk about in your Super Chat. The floor is yours. I'm going to take a moment here and see if we got anything else breaking.
From
Patron.
Patron. Thanks for calling, Patron. I appreciate it. The floor is yours.
Hey, good evening, Greg. Hey, first thing I was going to say, Greg, on a light note is I don't usually watch ESPN, but the other day I happened to catch a glimpse of the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
I guess that they have on midday. And one of the things I noticed about the show, it was on mute, but he stands up like the whole show. He doesn't sit down. He stands up and like practices his golf swing. So I was thinking for the new PATC studio, you got to get yourself a standing desk.
Okay, so I do have that. Now I can make it that. It's an adjustable desk. Look, I haven't even opened up the box yet. I got my nephew. Hopefully my nephew's coming over tonight. I already made the lasagna. The lasagna's already out of the oven. It's sitting on the dining room table. And now I'm back at my mother's place because the studio's there. But the table comes in at least two different. It came in two different boxes. But I could do it standing.
Oh, wow.
Now, the fat guy from Minnesota standing for a couple of hours, that might be a problem. Now, I can do that. Obviously, I've seen better days. I've seen better. But look, I'm going to try to make a comeback this year. I'm going to try to make a comeback now that I can do things outside the home. You know, there's a treadmill and all that. I could not do any of that. Anyways, you don't want to hear my excuses. Mm-hmm. You don't want to hear my excuses. But I think I can do a 2-hour show. But the problem is, I don't want to have to be adjusting this table back and forth, right? And I'm going to be doing watch parties. Parties. Also, there are going to be times, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's very difficult to take me for a couple of hours, but on big news days, I'm talking big news days in college football, and we're going to have them. We're going to have them. My live shows are going to be going on for much longer than they've ever had before. And the biggest news, I've had to shut this thing down when we've had 400 people, 500 people, because I was the primary caretaker. But we're not going to be doing that, Patreon. We're going to be on the air. I'm going to be able to take all your phone calls. We're going to have post-game shows after our watch parties because as of first 4 years, I could not take phone calls after the Wild games because I'm the primary caretaker. So, again, do I want to be standing in those shows? I think the fat guy from Minnesota would probably collapse and no stretchers strong enough to roll me out. So I'm probably going to be sitting down. However, one more thing. This stupid desk that I've been working behind. I cannot roll my chair underneath it. So I have to lean forward to do this show. So yeah, we have lots of problems. We're going to solve them hopefully tonight or by tomorrow. But thank you, Patron, for that advice. We may do it, and we're going to be able to do it. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And before I continue, what's in the lasagna?
Cheese. I don't know if is it 5 cheeses or I think it's a 5 cheese.
Okay. Well, that sounds delicious anyways, man.
I think it's 5 cheese. It's 5 or 3.
Sounds good.
I think it's 5.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll take the 5. So, Greg, what I was going to say regarding the SP Plus ratings is, it's interesting. Like, the Big Ten has both the top team in Ohio State and the bottom of all the Power 4 teams in I think it's Purdue. So that's out of all the conferences, they have the widest sort of spread.
Yeah.
And this is one reason, Greg, why I am opposed to any type of concept of like unequal revenue sharing, because unequal revenue sharing only makes that type of gap worse, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's kind of like I don't know if you would call it a hypocrisy or whatever, that, people say, well, the Big Ten is a conference of peers. But then at the same time, you say, well, but Ohio State and Michigan are our stewards, so they deserve more. It's like, well, wait a minute. If everybody's peers, don't they kind of deserve the equal thing, right? That's just my personal stand. And if they were to go to like a silo or something like that, like an all-conference schedule, like if you compare with the SEC, the SEC, their bottom team, I think it's Kentucky. Kentucky is still in the top half of the SP Plus rating. All things considered, the spread there is quite tight between the top of the SEC and the bottom. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking, I think it was BYU football had made the comment, I don't know if it was like sarcastic or not, about, the rankings don't matter, it's the viewership. And so one thing I was kind of thinking is like, if you were to take like the top Big Ten teams and pit them against the bottom Big Ten teams, right? Like if you just use 3 games, it would be like Ohio State versus Purdue. I think the next one was Oregon versus Michigan State. And then like Indiana versus, I think Rutgers. Like all 3 of those games would probably be like pretty significant blowouts, which, from an entertainment standpoint, this is just based on kind of what happened last year. Obviously things can change.
No,
but,
I get it.
But like, that's not the type of game I want to sit down and eat lasagna to. Mm-hmm. But if you look at, for example, like in the SEC, if you have like a Georgia versus Kentucky, okay, that would be probably a blowout. Georgia blew them out by like 20 points last year, covered the spread. But then you have like Texas versus Mississippi State. That game went into overtime last year. That was a very tight competitive game. And then the next one is Texas A&M versus Arkansas, which again, that was a 3-point game. That came down to like the final possession. So, even though you talk about the ratings at the top or which conference is best, but just from an entertainment standpoint for the casual fans, the new fans, like international, domestic, working class people that don't have any type of college affiliation, they're just going to be tuning in to ABC or CBS, as you mentioned, whichever, surfing the channels to see like what's the best game on. And I think, if the SEC goes to a silo, that isn't sort of an advantage for them. I think that as long as they have a compelling, close, tight game, it creates more entertainment value, which I think translates to viewership. But that's my spiel, man.
All right, man.
I'll let other callers call in, man. You have a great Friday, and look forward to see the new studio tomorrow.
Yeah, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I remember, Arkansas played some teams tough. They lost to Memphis. I do agree with Patreon to a certain extent, but I wonder in 3 years from now what this is all going to look like. Because the Big Ten, and we talk about how the top of the Big Ten is so top heavy, they're so good, and there's a big gap. Well, 3 years ago we would be having the discussion of the top of the Big Ten is not as good as the top of the SEC. We had those discussions. I had those discussions. We all had those discussions. But now we don't have those discussions because the top of the Big Ten is as good as the top of the SEC. So I'm wondering if we're going to have the discussions of the Big Ten bottom is as good as the bottom of the SEC. I mean, obviously the Big Ten conference in football has improved in this new era. And we're possibly seeing it in hockey. And I think we're going to look at it. And in basketball, this could be just a one-year thing. But, you know, the Big Ten and basketball. I'm just... but yeah, currently, I agree. Currently, yes. And Patreon has... And everybody has all the evidence. I mean, the average score, the average margin of winning margin in the SEC much lower than the Big Ten. More competitive football games. Anyway, so I agree with Patreon on that. Thank you, Patreon. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Very kind, sir. The floor is open. The phone lines are open. Evil Badger, 5 gifted memberships. Mayor McCheese, W.H. Maxwell, Brett Taylor, Sukon, Allen, and Alphas, Allen. All were gifted a membership by the very generous Evil Badger. All of you. Every single one of you are knighted Early Peak Cloak and Dagger. Congratulations. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Eva Badger. I already saw Mayor McCheese saying thank you to Eva Badger. They are very kind of you, Mayor McCheese. When you get an opportunity, go to our episodes, library of episodes, watch all of them, including members only Early Peak Cloak and Dagger. More is a coming. More of them are a coming. Thank you, Eva Badger. Thank you, very kind, sir, for your generosity. Very much appreciated. And the incredible, edible Bill G. 5 gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships. John Mark Stuff. Hockin. Culture Provocateur. CHJ229 and Mr. Hunt were all gifted a membership by Bill G. Thank you, Bill G. Thank you for what you have done for our program. You and Evil Badger. Man, you guys, I very humbled by your kindness. Very humbled, Mr. Cowboy, Mr. Badger, by your incredible kindness. All 5 of you that I've just named off, officially knighted, Cloak and Dagger. Welcome to the family. Go to the library of episodes. Watch all the episodes, including members only. Early Peak Cloak and Dagger, and please say thank you to the incredible, edible Bill G. Thank you, guys. Mayor McCheese, thank you very much. BYU football, the collar is 100% correct. Channel searching is almost extinct, which will hurt viewership. And yeah, I mean, again, if the more media partners you have, that's going to be this artificial dampening of the ratings, right? Because you got to search for a Big Ten football game. On SEC football, you're on ABC, or basically the family networks of ESPN. It's just so much easier. So that's an advantage for the SEC. But it's also a disadvantage in that I don't think the Southeastern Conference has sort of undercut themselves. They're not getting the value of what they should be getting. But next time, I think they will. I think the next media contract that the SEC has is going to be bonkers. And the last one was bonkers. The new Tier 1 contract that the SEC had, the increase was bonkers. But I think it's even going to be more. That is correct. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Let me see if... thank you, Bill G., Evil Badger, Kenneth Maynor. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your generosity. Let's see here. Now, I'm going to take a chance here. Let me take a chance. The women's Gophers are 15 minutes away from tipping off against the UCLA Bruins. And the UCLA Bruins women's basketball team easily handled my Gophers early in the season. The UCLA women's basketball team, along with UConn, of course, and South Carolina, they're the top teams in the country. So the Gophers might be in for a long night, but never give up. Never give up. You're in the Sweet 16. Give the Bruins hell. Give the Bruins hell. Let's go, Gophers. Ski-U-Ma. Ski-U-Ma. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Enough of the Gophers propaganda. Look at AEW. My goodness, AEW. Look at this. AEW Dynamite drew 765,000 viewers despite airing against the Yankees versus the Giants in Major League Baseball opening day game on Netflix. 765. I haven't seen that number that high probably over a year. And then you throw in a couple 100,000 for Max. When I watch AEW, I don't even watch it on TBS. I watch it on Max. So AEW is hot, baby. Hot. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I wonder if everything is going on. I haven't seen a new chat here in the chat. Is the chat room working? Or is everybody watching college basketball now? Is it time for me to leave? It looks like it's time for me to leave. Nobody's calling in. Nobody is chatting in the chat room. I don't even know if it's working. I don't even know if it's working. Let me see. Test. Yes, it's working. No, everyone's gone. Everyone has left the fat guy from Minnesota. We were talking football today. Football. Rankings. SP Plus. Oklahoma State, the largest riser. Nobody cares. Okay. This weekend, we'll be talking college football, a little bit off the field news, a little bit of drama, potentially, for the Saturday show. So again, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Make sure before you leave, you subscribe, ring the notification bell, share the video, and all that great stuff. Tomorrow we'll be coming on live Saturday, March 28th. Until then, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, Golden Gophers.